What's going on? Welcome back to Fanatic Journey. So today I want to talk to you on Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what shorts did, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So Lucid did go down 6.93%. So I'm going to break it down on what really prompted that. After hours, it is going down another 0.53%, and that is as a result of Tesla earnings. So that is currently going underway right now, and there is some potential red flags that is coming up. As far as volume, 43.5 million shares being traded, 45.1 is the average. These are some of the transactions that did occur in the secondary market above $100,000 based on the bid, the ask, and the selling price. Majority of it is buys. So that's kind of a good thing. So it does show that big money is looking at Lucid. And just be aware, as I've said in the past, this is completely different from what actually does happen. These transactions are longs versus what really happens is just a lot of algorithmic trading. So you can kind of see based on what happened today, just a lot of barcoding back and forth. And so that is just AI driven. And AI ultimately wanted it to go down. And in my opinion, the only real reason for this to happen, well, I guess there was two reasons, one of which was the technicals, and B, it was more so to do with this. So there was a couple articles coming out about the new SEC adopting a SPAC rule. And of course, especially in 2022, a lot of SPACs were rolled out. Some of them were very, very sketchy. And even in Lucid's case, they did get investigated. I believe it was started and was prompted Q1 of 2022. Ultimately resolved, I think it was Q2 of 2023, if I remember correctly. Pretty positive stuff, but nonetheless, this might be rehashing some old, maybe scar damage from Lucid investors. At the same time, AI is going to take this as a negative, especially considering Lucid is named on there, along with right here, so VinFast, Rivian, and good old Donald Trump's one. But aside from that, though, AI is going to take this and cause it to go down. So as backwards as that is, that's kind of what happens behind the scenes. And so when it comes down to Tesla's earnings as well, that is currently underway, it is showing and expecting slower vehicle growth in 2024. So that's more of the touchy subject that I did not want Tesla to ever say, because that is going to resonate so much deeper with Lucid investors, as with Rivian as well, especially with their recent numbers that did come out. So we'll just have to wait and see for how the market does interpret this to see if it does actually really affect Lucid as much as maybe a lot of people what they're forecasting right now. But even though it does show and is expecting slower vehicle growth, this article did show that it's estimated growth for Lucid being 112%. So I feel like that number is still relatively low from what it should be, because keep in mind in 2023 they did produce I think just over about 8,000 vehicles, give or take. So if you're factoring in 112% growth, that's just about 17,000 vehicles. And in my opinion, like I've said in the past, I feel like it does need to be at least 25,000. So I think that this number needs to be significantly higher, but still 112% on a year-over-year basis isn't all that bad, but the market's going to really slam it if this is the case. But then again, what do I know? I'm not a financial advisor. You guys always do your own due diligence. So going over some data, starting off with options, $997,000 in calls being purchased versus $517,000 in puts. Sentiment wise, 59% of all the options being done today are bearish. And of the call options that are being purchased, it is more of a consensus for it to be above $3. So the optimism is slowly going down in comparison to yesterday in the last couple of days. So unfortunately today as well did break that green consecutive trading days that Lucid's been on. I think it lasted about 3 days, but still, whatever it is, what it is. Looking at the puts though, it is anticipated for it to be sub 250. And today's technicals, even though it pulled back as a result of more of a weakness, but it did show some optimism. So I'm going to talk on that. When it comes down to shorts, though, shorts did return about 350,000 shares, 29.45% of the free float being shorted, 260.71 thousand shares overall are being shorted, and cost of borrow average is 21.22%. So the way I interpret this information, by them returning on this much of a red day, it shows that it's not really justified. So then again, that might be a pretty positive thing if you ask me. And over and above that though, a lot of people really do like the Elliott Wave technicals, and the last one did project it to get to around $2.90. So given the new update as of today, or I guess late yesterday, it does have the pivot point being $2.96. And if Lucid is able to get above that, then it is anticipated to go between the 327 and 333 in the short term. If it does stay below that, then you can kind of see it is anticipated to go between the 278 and 285. So kind of is holding out to be kind of true right now. So let me know your thoughts on that. While I'm on Interactive Brokers, there has been no recent analyst ratings. So the last one was done about 8 days ago, and that was RF Lafferty, $5 price target. So in my opinion, that's still relatively optimistic. So about 81% upside from these prices. So let me know your thoughts. What is your price target for potentially 1 year out? Do you think it's going to be $5 higher, or do you think it's going to be $1? What's your thoughts? As well, if you are looking for a lot of good compiled information, such as everything I just showed you, click on the link in the description below and also the comments for all this information to be completely free through Interactive Brokers. But like I said, it did bounce off of a very strong support today. So with it closing at $2.82, it did land and it kind of bounced off of. So the low today was $2.78 as well. So it is trading between this pivot and this R1. So $2.76 is going to be that next line in the sand, the very strong support. So it did bounce off of that. So generally that's kind of a good thing. Over and above that, $2.95 is going to be that next strong resistance. And because of just AI really wanting to take Lucid down, didn't really have enough to break this pivot point. So that's kind of a good thing. But aside from that though, this R1 didn't really last. And when it comes down to technicals, consolidation such as today is kind of good. I know it kind of sucks to see a 7% down day, but given how much Lucid has ran up over the last several days, I feel like it is kind of justified. So consolidation is natural, builds up a lot of good strength, and that way going into the next couple days, you could potentially see it maybe testing this R1, but we'll just have to as well wait how the market does interpret Tesla earnings and what that means for Lucid. At the same time, GDP numbers are coming out tomorrow, so again, we'll just have to wait and see how those numbers do turn out. Looking right here, number of retail investors were slightly getting out today, and stochastic, you do see it at 17, so still considered oversold somewhat, and you do see a nice bullish sentiment still, so black line above the red. It is minimizing slightly though, so a lot of interesting things is all happening behind the scenes with Lucid, but based on the technicals, it is still looking fairly good despite everything. So what's your thoughts on Lucid? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And one final thing I just wanted to share with you, take advantage of this promo. So simply sign up for an account with Moomoo, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So take advantage of this, link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.